In 1720, the richest private citizen on earth was not a king, not a merchant prince, not an ancient banking house. He was a Scottish gambler, a convicted killer, an escaped prisoner, and the man running the entire French economy. His invention made France rich, made him untouchable, and then destroyed them both within 4 years. It was paper money. And here is the uncomfortable part. We still use his machine. You have some of it in your pocket right now. Edinburgh, 1671. John Law is born into money. His father is a goldsmith, which in this century means a banker. Young Law is brilliant with numbers and bored by everything else. In London, he discovers his two great loves: gambling and probability. Law does not play like a romantic, he plays like a mathematician, calculating odds faster than anyone at the table. Night after night, he banks small mathematical edges. The other players see luck. Law sees a system anyone could master. Then, in 1694, the numbers stop mattering. A quarrel over a woman becomes a duel in Bloomsbury Square. Law kills a man named Edward Wilson with a single thrust. He is arrested, tried, and sentenced to death. And then John Law does the most John Law thing imaginable. He escapes prison, crosses the Channel, and vanishes into Europe. For 20 years, the fugitive drifts through Amsterdam, Venice, and Genoa, funding himself at the gaming tables of Europe. But he is studying something almost nobody else finds interesting: banks, how money actually moves, what makes it real. In Amsterdam, he watches merchants trade entire fortunes without a single coin changing hands. Just paper and trust. An idea takes hold of him that will change the world. Money does not need to be valuable. It needs to be believed. Gold, Law argues, is just a commodity. Scarce, heavy, dead. But paper backed by a nation's credit could expand with trade itself. Print confidence, he believes, and you print prosperity. Every government in Europe turns him down. Which, in fairness, is what you would expect when an escaped murderer offers to reinvent your money. But one country is desperate enough to listen: France, the superpower of Europe, and it is completely broke. Louis XIV spent 70 years and a bottomless fortune on wars and Versailles. In 1715, he dies. He leaves a national debt so crushing that the French state is skipping its own payments. The new king is 5 years old. The man actually in charge, the regent, the Duke of Orleans, happens to be an old gambling acquaintance of a certain Scottish fugitive. Law makes the regent a pitch no desperate government has ever refused. I can make the debt disappear. Let me build a bank. 1716. Law opens the Banque Générale and issues something France has never trusted: paper banknotes. The notes are redeemable in coin and more reliable than the royal currency, which the crown constantly debases. Merchants adopt them, trade quickens. So Law reaches for the second piece of his machine, 1717, the Mississippi Company. A monopoly on trade with France's enormous Louisiana territory. Swamps mostly, alligators famously. But on paper, an empire. Then he assembles the rest, piece by piece: the tobacco monopoly, the China trade, the Royal Mint, even France's tax collection. By 1719, his company controls essentially all French trade beyond Europe. His bank, now the Banque Royale, prints the nation's money. One man now operates both the economy's engine and its fuel supply. And here is the mechanism. It should sound familiar. You buy Mississippi shares with banknotes. The bank prints more notes so more people can buy more shares. Rising shares make the paper feel valuable, which justifies printing more. Money creation and stock speculation wired into a single loop. Shares issued around 500 leaves reached 2,700 by August 1719, then 4,000, then 5. On the 2nd of December, 10,000 leaves, up roughly 2,000% in a single year. The Rue Quincampoix, the narrow street outside the trading offices, becomes the most valuable real estate in Europe. Aristocrats, who would not wait half an hour for the regent, wait 6 hours in the mud for a word with law. A hunchback man reportedly earns a fortune renting out his back as a writing desk for share contracts. Servants grow richer than their masters, and the French coin a brand new word for what this machine manufactures daily: millionaire. But the empire beneath the shares has a hold full of human cargo. The company ships prisoners from Paris jails to Louisiana. It runs slave ships to work the colony. The glittering machine is built on suffering the prospectuses never mention. And when belief in Louisiana wobbles, the company marches 6,000 conscripted miners through Paris with picks and shovels, bound, supposedly, for the gold fields. There are no gold fields. The parade is the gold field. In January 1720, John Law is appointed Controller General of Finances of France. The escaped convict now formally runs the economy. It is the single greatest ascent in financial history. It lasts 4 months. It only runs forward. In early 1720, 2 royal princes quietly cash out. Shares converted into gold, carried away in carriages. Others notice, others follow. The exits begin to crowd. Law does what the machine demands. He prints. He pegs the share price, ordering the bank to buy stock with fresh banknotes. He restricts gold payments over 100 leaves. He makes paper legal tender by royal decree. Each fix is bigger than the last, and every fix tells France the same quiet thing. The exits are being locked, which means there is something to run from. Inflation hits 23% in a single month. Food prices double. The paper in people's hands is melting. Then France stops believing, all at once. Crowds besiege the Banque Royale to turn paper back into coin that barely exists. People are crushed to death in the stampedes. The mob that fought to touch Law now burns him in effigy. By December 1720, the 10,000 leave share is worth 1,000. Within months, 500. Exactly where it began. As if the whole delirium had been a dream France was violently waking from. The word banque becomes poison. For generations, French financial institutions will refuse to use it. In December, Law flees France the way he once fled prison, quietly, at night, leaving his fortune and his family behind. The richest man in the world exits with almost nothing. He returns to the gambling tables of Venice, an aging curiosity pointed at in casinos. That is him, the man who broke France. He dies there in 1729, poor, and now the part nobody expects. France swore never again, so did everyone. Then, over 3 centuries, every piece of his machine came back. Central banks, money backed by confidence, booms fed by printing. That is every currency on earth today. John Law was not wrong. He was early. We rebuilt his machine and moved the whole world inside.